Alright, so continuing on with the framework. So in this video, I want to add some more thoughts and add some more concepts to everything that I've said. And yeah, so there are some things and some concepts and certain things that I want to add in this video. Okay, so yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about certain logos. Okay, and I kind of talked about, again, these logos have various applications, okay, and in various ways that these logos uh, can be a part of this world that I'm describing in this framework, okay. But for example, one of the ways that this logo can be used is when I talked about the Archon jacket, and I talked about a logo on the left side above the patch, okay. So yeah, so that would be one of the places where these logos can have a certain yeah, these logos can be applied, and in other places, okay. So yeah, and I'm going to talk about a few logos, and I have more logos in mind, okay. So I'm going to talk about okay, so the first logo I want to talk about is okay, and I'm going to describe these logos, and it's um, with the way I'm going to describe them. Okay, I'll just show them. Okay, so the first logo, the first one that I want to talk about. So let's start off with, okay, this is um, okay. So imagine in a metallic way. Okay, so there would be a certain ring of a certain thickness, okay, and around on both sides of this ring, okay. So I will describe one side, and the other side is a mirror of this, okay. So I'll describe one side. So there is a ring, and there is a main wing, okay, that goes, and then it turns, and then it kind of comes back and curves back, okay. And on above and below this main wing, there are thinner thinner wings above and below, okay. So this is the main wing, and there's a thin wing above this, which doesn't go all the way, about 2/3 of the way, and there's a thin wing below this again, which again goes in and curves back like this. Again, this doesn't go all the way to the end, about 2/3, okay. And then there's this exact same thing mirrored on the other side. So the design is a certain ring of a certain nice proportionate thickness, two main wings on both sides, and two thinner wings on above and below, okay. So the shape of the above wing would be something like this, and then it has a slight bend here, and then it follows this. And again, the lower wing would be a thin bend, and then it goes thin, and it curves a little bit, and it meets the ring, okay. And these wings and the ring, no, the wings will have certain smooth curvaceous contour, okay, gentle contour, and the ring itself would have some interesting thin bevels inside and outside, okay. And these would be metallic. So imagine various metals. Imagine this in gold, imagine this in silver, imagine this in platinum, and so on. And in the center of this ring would be a crystal, okay. And imagine a blue, no, a red to purplish red crystal, and it's beautiful, it's brilliant crystal, and it has a rounded convex surface, okay. So it's round when looking from the top, I guess. So it's round, and it's convex, and it's a beautiful glossy surface of this crystal, okay. And it has that brilliant red, purplish red color, and that nice brilliance in it, okay, and interesting refraction, I guess, okay. So that would be one of the logos, okay. So I think I've described that one. So the next logo, that would be one of them. The next logo I want to talk about is, okay, so this is, imagine a feminine form, okay. So it has, she would imagine her feminine form, so she would have this curvaceous form, okay. And imagine this, her arms are stretched to the side, okay, stretched completely to the side at right angles, okay, and behind her are wings, and these wings could be metallic, and these wings are straight, okay, so these are straight wings, and they stretch farther than her arms, okay, than her fingers, beyond her fingers, okay, and her fingers are, like I said, her arms are stretched outwards. And again, imagine a beautiful dress, imagine a large round collar, uh, round neck on this dress, not collar, neck, and this would be round and circular and pretty large, okay, and imagine uh, sleeves that are not going too low, okay, so these are pretty short, very just a few just slightly below the shoulders, okay, so these are, but this dress would be well fitting, okay, and imagine above her head, above her hair, there are 5 crystals, okay, arranged at the points of a pentagon, okay, so there are 5 crystals, there's one exactly in the center, in the front, in the front, okay, and these are of 5 different colors, and these are glowing crystals, okay, so that kind of forms a levitating, floating, floating and levitating glowing star crystals, floating and levitating glowing star crystals, crown above her, okay, and again, like I said, there are these wings that stretch, again, these are stretching at right angles, okay, and her arms, there's this pose where her arms are stretched outwards at right angles as well, okay, they're exactly, almost exactly, it's not, it doesn't have to be exact, actually, I don't know, but yeah, they're at right angles, and these wings are straight and they're stretching outside, okay, and the vertical, the way these wings vertically are they are slightly above, like I said, it could be vertically, it could be kind of somewhat above her neck, and again, going down vertically, this could be somewhere around her waist, and these are stretching outwards, okay, so that would kind of be the shape of these wings, and these wings could be something like, on one side they go this way, and then they come back, and then they go in, and then something interesting can happen here, and then they go back, okay, just as an example, just quickly giving an example. So that would kind of be a shape in which imagining, again, to make it easy to imagine, okay, and these wings could be imagined in metal, or in another way, okay. So yeah, that is this logo. This is the second one that I talked about. So the next logo I wanted, and again, this one that I just talked about, this one can also be imagined as a sculpture, okay, so this would be a very interesting sculpture, and it can be used, the sculpture can be, yeah, there are various ways of imagining this sculpture, okay, so I think that would look really interesting, imagine in various scales. I think it would create an interesting sculpture. It can also work with architecture, okay, so that would be an interesting sort of um, addition to a beautiful work of architecture, okay, so I thought that would be another way of interpreting this logo, okay. So the next logo I want to get into is, this is an eagle, okay, or a bird, okay. I'm just using the for now, let's make it an eagle, okay. It's this type of bird, okay. It's yeah, it's okay. So it's an eagle, and again, this is in metal, okay. Okay, something I want to add to the previous one is the previous with the, like I said, with the woman and the wings, is that she can, I can call this logo as an angel, and with her wings, with metallic wings, these metals can be of different colors, okay. Imagine a blue metal with beautiful shine and a beautiful surface, an interesting kind of surface, okay? Maybe there's a shine, maybe there's a certain matte element to it, maybe there's a certain interesting, from certain angles, it creates a certain holographic, maybe type of look, okay? Maybe a certain pearl type of look, okay? And these metals can be in interesting colors. They can be in gold, in blue, in red, platinum, silver. So imagine various ways of interpreting her wings, like I talked about, okay? And her wings can also be imagined, the wings of this angel, feminine form. Her wings can also be imagined in a transparent colored type of wings. So it creates a beautiful layer of transparency with her wings. So, and they would have beautiful colors and beautiful colored harmonies in these transparent wings of hers. So that would be another way of imagining her wings. And apart from that, wings can also be imagined with these very soft and beautiful and yeah, beautiful feathers, soft white feathers. So that would also be another way of imagining her wings. So there are ways, interpretations of imagining her wings. So yeah, that is something that I wanted to add. Okay. And various other ways, maybe certain parts of a dress can also be imagined in metal, okay? Certain aspects, certain things in her dress can be imagined in metal. There can be certain accessories that she might have, okay? So that is something that I wanted to add to the angel logo, okay? And she has a very beautiful angelic face, very beautiful, and yeah, and again, a very beautiful feminine form, okay? So yeah, it would form that beautiful feminine form and the wings, and with the crown. I think it's a beautiful logo. Okay, so this angel feminine form woman look that I described, this can also be imagined as an attire. So that is something that I wanted to add. So the next one, like I said, like I was talking about, imagine an eagle. And again, this eagle, the way I'm imagining this logo is that this eagle is flying with its wings open, and it's open at these wings. Again, this is kind of a it's a representation of an eagle, so it's kind of stylized. Okay, so imagine these wings opening at the top part of both wings are open in such a way that they form 90 degrees, okay, a right angle. And imagine this at a 45-degree angle, okay, this way. So imagine over here would be the head of the eagle, okay, and this would be top and right, so it's flying towards top and right. So the top parts of both of the eagle's wings and other parts on the bottom and on the left, it's kind of forming a plus, and it's forming a quadrant, okay, these four things, and that is kind of the geometry that I'm going with here, okay? And underlying geometry and underlying geometries. And there are, again, these wings are full, there are various layers of the wings, and I want to mostly imagine straight lines with these various layers, okay, because there would be like various layers in the wings. And yeah, mostly straight lines. Again, there would be some very nice curves, very nice arcs. And again, this is imagined in metal, so there are various layers of the wings, which are, some are in gold, some are in silver, some are in a red metal, some are in a blue metal. And platinum, something interesting can be done with the eagle's eyes. Maybe these can be crystals. And yeah, and it would have a tail, and it would have, again, its with it being stylized going up and right, it can create a beautiful, interesting metallic logo. Okay, so yeah, that is another logo that I wanted to talk about. And like I said, yeah, with this eagle, its wings are open. Okay, so it creates that beautiful wing pattern and that wing structure. Okay, so yeah, with the wing pattern and wing structure, it would create an interesting logo. Okay, and yeah, so that is this logo. And a way of imagining this eagle logo is to imagine this logo, the way it's designed that I described of the eagle, and imagine this eagle in gold and another interesting details and other interesting colored metals, and imagine this with a background, and this background can be a gradient going from hot pink up to royal blue. That would be one option. And another gradient could be going from scarlet up to purple. And again, these two would be gradients of colors. They're blending, these two colors are blending, and it's forming a vertical gradient. And this could be imagined as a background behind this logo of that eagle in gold and other metallic, other colored metals. So it would be this logo of this metallic eagle with those gradients, either of those in the background. And a way this can work is this can work as a flag. So that would be an interesting design for a flag. And the aspect ratio of this can be, again, there are possibilities. It could be one horizontal to one vertical. It could be two horizontal to one vertical. It could be, I don't know. Yeah, so there are various possibilities. Those two are the ones that I'm kind of mentioning right now. Again, there can be, I don't know. Yeah, there are various possibilities. There are various aspect ratios. For example, just as an example, 4 horizontal to 3 vertical, 3 horizontal to 2 vertical. Again, those would be some other examples. But the like I said, 1 to 1 and 2 to 1. Again, 2 horizontal to 1 vertical. Again, those sound like interesting aspect ratios to me. Okay, so this is again something that I wanted to add because this would work great as a flag design, and also this can be imagined with the other logos that I described. Okay, with the angel woman, and again with the ring and the wings, those logos as well. Again, with the way I described their design with metals and crystals and so on. Okay, and various colored metals, various colored crystals, various surfaces, various of these metallic surfaces, and the way those surfaces can be. Okay, so again, that is this is another thing that I wanted to add to because I thought this would be an interesting way of imagining flags. Okay, so that is something that I wanted to add. Okay, and also another simpler, more elemental way of imagining a flag is to would be a 5-pointed star with, again, a gradient background like I described, like the colors, and with various colored gradients. I think 2 colored gradients might sound, yeah, I think they might look fine. Okay, various colors, various possibilities, various harmonies are possible here, and the color of the star can be, again, with various metallic colors like I talked about. Okay, so it could be one single 5-point star, or it could be an array of, for example, 12 5-point stars, or again, it can be something else like 5, an array of 5, an array of 7, 8, and so, again, yeah. So yeah, that would be a more a simpler, more elemental flag interpretation. Okay, so that would be another way of imagining flags. Okay, so that is again something that I wanted to talk about, and would make another addition. And imagined as a flag in fabric. So this fabric can be imagined as this fabric would be very, it would have a very nice, amazing look and feel, and it would have a really great shine, and in the way that it would really, this nice fabric and this shine would really bring out the colors, and it would really bring out the flag and its design. So yeah, and imagine as a flag in fabric. So this fabric would have a very nice and amazing look and feel to it, and it would have this really great shine in a way that this fabric and this shine and this amazing uh, yeah, amazing look and feel of the fabric brings out all the colors of the flag, and it really brings out the design of the flag. So yeah, again, that is something that I wanted to add. And something I think I should, yeah, I'm kind of describing these logos in the way that I'm describing them. I think it's maybe I might show them visually. In that case, it might make it more direct in the way that I would show them. So yeah, I might show them visually at some point. Okay. So, but I think I described it in a way that this is a visual description. Okay. So I've talked about it, and I think it makes sense. Okay. So those are the logos. So next, I want to uh, hmm, okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is, like I talked about previously, this is with the Archon jacket, I talked about the olive wreath. And so I just want to clarify this here, the olive wreath, the way I'm talking about it. And there can be other interpretations too, and those are great. And so there can be many interpretations of way. Maybe there's, okay, I'll just talk about the way I was imagining this. So these are two of them, and the front part is open. Okay, so these are two of these that are meeting at the back, and these are olive leaves in gold. So this would form a gold crown in the way that this would be. Okay, so that is the interpretation of this olive wreath, this laurel wreath, olive leaves that I'm talking about in gold. Okay, these leaves could also be of other interesting plants and trees. So I have some interesting ones in mind that have interesting visuals and aesthetics and properties and biologies and chemistries. Again, there can be another interpretation of this too. The one that I talked about, that is the main way that I want to imagine this, okay? And again, it can be made more ornate. It's something can be done with crystals, something can be done with some interesting designs on this, okay? So another way is a ring type can also be imagined, okay? A ring type of laurel wreath. So again, these would be those leaves forming all the way, going all the way. Again, this can be in gold. It can be in other interesting metals too, okay? So something I wanted to clarify out, I was mainly talking about this type one, which is open at the front, okay? And there are those leaves. Okay, so that is the one that I wanted to, one of the points that I wanted to talk about. So the next point I want to talk about is, when I talked about the various aeroplanes and VTOLs and aircraft, one of the aircraft types that I talked about is when I said there can be a certain unconventional type of aircrafts, certain interesting, I don't know if unconventional, certain interesting type of aircraft. And one of the things, and yeah, in this I talked about a certain concept related to glowing colors. So I talked about amber, I talked about firefly. So I want to add more. So I want to talk about, the additions are glowing glacier blue, and pinkish lavender glow. Okay, so these would be two more glow colors, and I think these are interesting colors. So these would be a part of these. So now, along with the amber and firefly, we have glacier blue and pinkish lavender glow, and these are glowing colors, like I like is like I talked about. And this color glow can be imagined in yeah, in these type of aircraft. okay? And there's that concept of glowing colors with these aircraft, with this type of aircraft that I'm describing, okay? So that is something that I wanted to add. Okay, so the next point I want to talk about is, yeah, when I talked about maps, I talked about mountains, okay, and various landscapes and cityscapes and skylines and observatories and so forth that are related to mountains, and many other things, many other um, architectural forms, infrastructure forms, and so on. So one of the things, again, I want to add to this is with the mountains, there are various mountains and various other forms there are, and various other forms of architecture as well. There is the concept of observation decks. Okay, so that is again something I want to add. Adds a beautiful work of architecture where great views can be seen. I think it's very interesting, a very interesting form of architecture. Observation decks. Okay, so these can be on mountains. These can be on certain uh, skyscrapers. These can be on certain buildings. It can be on certain terrain features. So again, that would be a great addition to all the things that I've talked about. Okay, observation decks, observation panoramas, and panoramic observation decks. Observation panoramas and panoramic observation decks. Okay, so yeah, the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, so the next thing is something, just an interesting concept that I wanted to add. Okay, so this concept is metaphysical technologies. Okay, metaphysical technologies. So yeah, just a concept that I wanted to mention. Okay, so yeah, uh, those are the things that I wanted to. Mm, yeah, those are the things that I wanted to talk about. And yeah, like I said, these would be uh, all of these things are becoming a part of the framework. So imagine, I'm imagining this in the big picture, in the whole, in the way this all is coming together, all of this. Okay, so there the entire big picture is forming and growing, and this world is alive with movement. Okay, so yeah, these are the things that I wanted to talk about, and I'll add more things. I'll yeah, add more things to various things and various concepts, and yeah, add more aesthetics, add more concepts, add more interesting things. Okay, and yeah, so yeah, that's it for this video. I'll add more things in the next videos. Let me know what you think, and yeah, uh, I'll add more. I'll come up with more stuff and come up with more things and add those things and add those things in the next videos. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next videos. Okay, bye.